Why does God allow suffering? If God is all powerful, he could stop every tragedy. If God is loving, he would want to stop every tragedy. So why doesn't he? This question has challenged believers and skeptics for centuries, and surprisingly, the Bible gives a clear answer. Many people assume suffering exists because God doesn't care, but the Bible paints a very different picture. According to Scripture, God created a world without suffering, without death, without pain, without evil. But he also created human beings with something incredibly valuable: the ability to choose. Why? Because real love requires real freedom. Think about it. If someone was programmed to love you, would that love be genuine? Of course not. Love only means something when it is freely chosen. But the moment real freedom exists, another possibility exists too. The possibility of evil, the possibility of selfishness, the possibility of people hurting one another. And much of the suffering we see today comes from those choices: wars, violence, betrayal, greed, hatred. These are not things God desires. They are the result of humanity using its freedom in ways God never intended. But then another question arises. Why doesn't God simply stop every evil action? Because a world where God instantly prevented every wrong choice would also be a world without genuine freedom. The very freedom that makes love possible would disappear. Now, that doesn't mean all suffering comes from human choices. Some suffering comes through disease, disasters, and circumstances we don't fully understand. And the Bible doesn't pretend to answer every detail, but it does make one promise. God is able to bring good from suffering. In Romans chapter 8, verse 28, we're told, "And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him." Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say all things are good. Cancer isn't good, loss isn't good, pain isn't good, but God can bring good even out of terrible situations. And that's exactly what we see throughout the Bible. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers, yet God used that suffering to save countless lives. Most importantly, Jesus himself suffered. He was rejected, beaten, crucified, and through that suffering came salvation. The Bible's answer is not that suffering is good. The answer is that God allows freedom, works through suffering, and promises a future where suffering will finally end. Maybe the real question isn't, why does suffering exist? Maybe it's, can God bring purpose out of suffering? What do you think? Why does God allow suffering? Comment below and let me know, and follow for more answers to the Bible's biggest questions.